In this section, we will learn how to adjust the size of rows and columns, insert, delete, and move them, as well as hide and unhide rows and columns. Now, in Excel, the default cell dimensions on spreadsheets are preset. But once you have input data into cells, you may have to adjust the cell size so that the data fits better. We can do this by changing the size of rows and columns. One thing to note is that each cell's height will always be identical to other cells in that row, and likewise its width will be the same as other cells in that column. When we modify the size of a row or a column, the changes will apply to all cells in the row or column respectively. This week, Alia will be helping the marketing team with social media campaign planning. The team has sent her an Excel file with some social media data. Some of the text is cut off and can't be read. This type of thing really gets on Alia's nerves. She wonders why the team hasn't fixed this and decides to do it herself before getting to work. Here's Food to Go's social media overview workbook. Take a look at column B. The text in this column is cut off. We can manually adjust the column width so that the text can be read in full. To do this, position your mouse on the right-hand border of column B. You will notice that your cursor changes into left and right arrows pointing outwards. Click and then drag the border to the right to increase the column width, or left to decrease it. In this case, we need to increase the column width so that all the text shows. Rows work in exactly the same way. Just click on the bottom border of the row and drag up or down to change the row height. Now, apart from resizing columns and rows manually, we can also use AutoFit. This is a very helpful feature in Excel. AutoFit will automatically adjust the column or row size so that it fits the content of cells perfectly. To use AutoFit, instead of dragging the border of a column or row, just double-click on it. Do you see how column H has automatically adjusted its width so that it is just wide enough to display the data contained in the largest cell in column H? In this case, it was the column's title. Now, another way of using AutoFit is to select the row or column you wish to resize, then click on the Format icon and select AutoFit Row Height or AutoFit Column Width from the drop-down. We can also AutoFit all the rows or columns on our spreadsheet together by selecting the whole spreadsheet and then applying AutoFit. To select all, click this box here at the top left. This will highlight all the cells in your spreadsheet. Then apply the AutoFit to all rows and then to columns, and they will automatically resize to fit your data perfectly. To select all, you can also use the keyboard shortcuts Ctrl+A. If your worksheet contains data, Ctrl+A will select the current region on your spreadsheet, like this. But pressing Ctrl+A a second time will select the entire worksheet. Okay, so suppose we want to make all our rows the same height or all our columns the same width on our spreadsheet. We can use Select All for this. So first, select all, and now if we adjust the size of any row, the size will apply to all rows on our spreadsheet, just like this. The same will happen if we selected all and then adjusted the size of one column. Now, if you notice any hash symbols in any of your cells, this means that the cells contain numerical values. The column is too narrow to display these values, and you will have to increase the column width for them to be shown.